Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Save $100 on the Craftsman V20 6-Tool Power Tool Combo Kit, now at $199. No matter what the project is, Craftsman's high-quality, high-performance products empower you to build on. Stop by your nearest Lowe's store and check out the full line of Craftsman tools today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard are here to make you a friend of ours.
That would mean you were a major.
Investigating what is and isn't legit.
That's a fugazi. All right? That's a fugazi. We looked at it for 2 seconds.
Seeing through the lines to make you a better.
I know you know. And I know you know I know you know.
The FTM Army is being sent for.
In our thing, you get sent for, you go in alive, you come out dead. And it's your best friend that does.
These two wise guys would never steer you wrong.
Forget about it.
This is Real or Fugazi on Follow the Money.
Good to have you on board. Very busy hour coming up, including Matt Vasgersian in 30 minutes talking Major League Baseball. Here, Pauly, parity in the NBA is much better than super teams. Is that real or Fugazi?
Well, Adam Silver agrees with you. That's why they tinkered with the cap and with the apron. So they didn't have this. You couldn't have 3 studs on the same team. Or make it much difficult. Make it difficult. I'll go real. I love this. We're going to have seventh different year, 7th different champion.
Sure.
I like that.
I would say that, again, I always reference this. There were many years where Charles Barkley would come on like opening night on TNT.
That's true.
Going back 20 years, and he would say, there are 3 teams that can win the title. And you know what? He was almost always right. That's the definition of the super team era.
But Golden State, Cleveland, those were great matchups, too, in terms of the star power. If you have the stars and they're playing on the biggest stage, I know it's going to happen already. I mean, if it's OKC, Indiana, it could be a great series, but it's going to be low ratings.
It will, for sure.
Because of the market size. But, you know, when you had Lakers Celtics, it was great because there was Hall of Famers all over the place, too.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. And then you had the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq. You had Indiana with Reggie Miller. You had, the Jordan was just a whole different ball game. What you had with Jordan. But you also, it helps if you get the stars making it on a regular basis as well.
I would say, no doubt. I'll add this to it. I don't know. Maybe Oklahoma City here's at the very beginning of turning into a super team.
Should be.
But that was also said about Denver after 2023. And no doubt it was said about Boston after last year.
Right. Well, Denver fired their GM as a result, though.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
Steph Curry is so good that he's responsible for making individual talent better, but the overall game worse. Real? Fugazi?
So pretty much, yeah.
I'm saying
because, well, also everyone, it took people long enough and analytics and these people to realize, hey, if I just back up a little bit, I get an extra point.
Yeah.
I can't believe it took 40, 50 years for people to realize that. But that also like Morey. Morey is a big responsible for it as well with Houston. Play the math game, corner 3, easy shot, and then everyone around the league said, I can't get on the floor if I can't shoot. And plus now everyone falling in love with the 3, and that goes back to your Curry point there, where also the kids doing that at a young age, growing up, bombs away, and I'm going to shoot from way, way out.
Yep, and they think that they can beat him, and they're going to shoot from 28 feet out, and they're going to take 50 a game combined, and that's great. So they can shoot. We have more shooters now than ever, but the product can be tough to watch at times because of so many threes. Circa Grandissimo, the $100,000 Survivor contest this year will have more, quote, ego or FU money than sharp money. Real? Fugazi?
This was good on social media yesterday. I'm going to say real. So a lot of people said, poker players and then the sharp money, but also other people chiming in with there's a lot of money out there, the braggadocious factor, the showing off factor. I think that's real too. That's all Instagram really is. It's just people flossing.
Of course it is.
It's women, hey, look, I got this new. Shauna used to do it all the time. It drives me nuts. I buy her a purse. You go to Instagram, it's like all it is just showing off, and I got this and I got that, and so this is the ultimate. Where hey, I'm in a $100,000 football contest, to go along. Look at the entry fee, and then look at the bragging rights, too. And the point I made yesterday, because I really used to follow it hardcore, you should see some of these buy-ins for these poker tournaments. Million,
I know.
500,000, 250,000. You're only getting 20, 30 people, but then again, they have backers. You can get backers maybe with this, too.
Oh, yeah, I would expect that.
But because all those poker players are back. I can't wait to talk to Sean Deep Tuesday. He's coming in with the professional poker player. But that's all good points, and I'm with you that you're going to have the people who want to brag and show off.
I'll give you an example of the perfect guy that if he gets wind of it's going to be in the contest, and I'll tie it in here. I was watching the live stream last night of the hockey game with Bessanetti. Will Arnett's on it as well. They brought in Charles Barkley, and they were kicking around if they have a bookie or not. And they went to Barkley on this. And Barkley, I tweeted out the audio. Barkley said, quote, FanDuel only lets me bet so much, so I got to have a bookie on the side. End of quote.
He was yelling it, too.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
There will never be another Charles Barkley, real or fugazi. He gets away with whatever he wants.
I know. He is so popular and so good that he actually auditioned and was up for Monday Night Football.
That's right. And I bet
Think about that.
He would have been stellar on it, I bet.
Yeah. He's a basketball player.
Oh, by the way,
he was up for Monday Night Football.
So I'm listening then, like last night more and more. Like, he knows all the players in hockey. I don't know what he knows about hockey, but he's like rattling off stuff he's like Paul Bovey with the box score from 10 years ago. He knows all the numbers still. Mm-hmm. But I thought that was so cool of him, and he said that last night. I'm like, how many guys could actually say that on TV and get away with it? He's probably like the only one. The rush of hitting a jackpot in video poker is unlike any other win. Different than a huge hand of blackjack or big bet on a game. Is that real or fugazi?
That's big time fugazi.
Oh, it's big time fugazi.
Yeah. Why? Yeah. Surprised you said that. Went that way.
Oh, what do you prefer?
Well, it depends what it's. Is it you dealt 4 to the Royal? Is it what kind of beat? What kind of win is it?
Yeah, let's say
sports?
that you hold.
I still think the best. Now, the loudest you're ever going to hear a casino is, other than a football game, is at the craps table. But there's nothing like being at a blackjack table, and then if there's some splits, double downs, whatever, and then the dealer's got a 4 show, and then you're going to find she's going to bust. And then when she busted, then you're screaming holy hell and celebrating.
No, that's
everyone's
great.
high-fiving.
That's awesome.
That's all I think the best when it's, you're playing multiple hands, double down, split, double, everything, and then the bus card comes.
I'll tell you
as well. I mean, the jackpot depends because usually it's unexpected.
Of course, yes, that's why.
Only when it's I'm that way if it's a 4 to the Royal. See, if it's a 4 to the Royal, then you're standing up, especially if it's 10 play, and then you're ready to go Paul Bovey and break something.
Well,
if you go 0 for 10 and can't get one.
Sure. Because we like to play the games with multipliers, and I'm telling you, when that board is peppered and lit up like the 4th of July with like 8 times, 12 times on the next hand, and you get dealt 3 aces, man, is that a feeling.
Yeah.
And you think about it for a second, you're like, come on, baby, let's hit a couple of these bad boys. Throw in a kicker, it's going to be a great day. Like, I just think that feeling it's a little bit different. We're a third of the way through the ultimate betting scenario / we could only dream of type season with the Colorado Rockies, real or fugazi. I know that the favorites are it's a $3 favorite every game, or right around that territory.
Yeah.
Paul, they have 8 wins on the year.
Yeah, I think we're there. Minus 159 run differential. So that's the second worst going back to 1900. And then this is the worst start since 1900. When you're talking about the 1899 Cleveland Spiders or whatever the hell it is, 3-22 on the road, yeah, we're there. And the prices still aren't high enough as well. Like, how high will it get to win series? How high when it's an ace against all these guys like Freeland and they're 1-9 when he starts and Marquez 1-9 and this kid, look at the kid going today. Last 9 starts, Gordon. 0-7 with an ERA of 9. Mm-hmm. It's incredible. Oh, by the way, they can't hit.
Probably him.
So
no kidding.
The other thing is, think about the last 2 wins, or three of the last couple wins. They somehow beat Verlander on the road. They won a 2-1 game at home against Sale and the Braves, and then Zach Gallen got 12 runs of support and couldn't win. So actually, you could make the argument 8-42. How about 5-45? Which was actually possible.
I know. I honestly think that you got to find. I've been saying this for a while here, and I'm parlaying against them tonight. I have the Yankees-Knicks on a 2-team moneyline parlay. I will take not having a team to root for as a result of being jaded by living in the sports betting world for so long, over getting crushed repeatedly when my favorite team loses in agonizing fashion any day of the week. Is that real or fugazi?
Yeah, that's real. Being from Minnesota, it's to the point where you can just say they can go hurt someone else.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, it paid off. That feeling with the Cubs was great. I grew up WGN, day baseball, Harry Carey, Steve Sohn, and my dad watching all the games. But it shouldn't, affect your mood. And
it should not affect how you treat people.
Mm-hmm.
You're exactly right. You should not feel depressed. You should not feel like you got to take 3 or 4 days off of work.
Well, it's an ultimate high. And what the Cubs did was all time. And go back to the Red Sox. I mean, you're celebrating where, hey, my dad didn't live long enough to see this, my granddad, whatever. Same thing with the Cubs. But there's also a lot of lows, and I remember I turned it into a positive. I was so down in the dumps when the Vikings were 15-1 in '98 and they couldn't make the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I didn't want to watch the Super Bowl or anything for 2 weeks, and just said, okay, I'm going to, try to exercise, and I dropped 75 pounds in 3 months. But it was.
I brought it up because of the Knicks the other night.
Yeah.
Those
25 years, right? 25 years. They finally get there, and then look what happens in game one. An all-timer.
Yep.
And I love Paul, but that was no doubt an absolute choke. You're up 14 with 250. Everything has to go wrong with the missed free throws and the turnover. VSiN fans, you can play Circa Survivor or Circa Millions for free. Winner Circle Proxy giving away 1 free entry to each contest, plus a full proxy service. You'll be paired with a VSiN host for strategy all season long. And for your chance to win, visit winnercircleproxy.com/VSiN. winnercircleproxy.com/VSiN. It's open. Let's start the insanity. You got, I think, 12 people signed up already for one contest, and a gentleman did the $100,000 one today as well.
We'll get into the 2 playoff games on the betting board for tonight, and I know plenty of bettors who are close to partying based on cross-sport parlays. Details on that next.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Pauly, I know plenty of bettors who are 2 wins away right now from celebrating, partying, going on dream vacations, literally, from what I was told, if the Oklahoma City beat the Minnesota Timberwolves and win the Western Conference of the NBA. The reason why is because that is the finishing touches on, from what I can gather and what I have seen, screen grabs of, what I've been told, plenty of parlays out there that need that team to win the West, and then it's payday central. So we like doing them. We talk about them. We've had guests on who talk about them a lot. Our buddy Chris Macero is tied in. He's got a ton riding on Oklahoma City, I think, to win the West and or to win the NBA title. But it goes all the way back to last year with the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, with Ohio State winning the national title. Some I've seen with Florida winning the national title in college basketball. They need 2 more wins right now.
All right. Hey, you can take Minnesota 9-1, too.
You can do whatever you want right now.
That's right. Great feeling. But sometimes you need luck, too. And they were in trouble against Denver. But that's a great job by everyone that has that ticket.
So as for tonight?
Same thing with the Pacers, though, too.
Well,
not so much with the parlays,
but just the
straights.
straights.
But yes, we've seen the big tickets on the Pacers, and the 75-1 to win the conference, 50-1, 25-1. Our guy Cohen had 44-1 not that long ago, and then a big number, 125-1 to win the title. So they're close right now.
Well, by the way, now you can do whatever you want at this point with that because they stole game 1. So if you did not hedge before that tip-off, you can obviously come back with the Knicks right now. And also keep in mind, for those of you in states where Circa is at, they offer no price and all this stuff too.
Right.
Which is a great option to have.
I'm still shocked at the adjusted series price. Indiana's only $1.60. after getting game one.
Oh, you're high on them.
I don't think the Knicks are going to get a game in Indiana. It's going to be
you
tough.
don't?
Maybe one, but then how many are they going to win? Can they get one? Maybe. But can they get more than one? I doubt it. I think the Pacers will get another one in the Garden. But
well, most importantly here, do you think they get the game tonight? Because I don't. I think the Knicks respond in a big way. It's a huge point spread, so I can't lay that. I think they come out and they win the game tonight.
Yeah, big tax here. I'm with you. You can't lay 6. They might blow them out, but it goes back to it's a great in-play game. I also think you got to take the Pacers' first quarter again, based on how bad the starters have been with the Knicks, at least getting outscored, starting 5 in the playoffs, and how deadly the starting 5 has been with the Pacers. And it might be easy to say now, season on the line, Knicks come out, blow them out, but maybe it's still gloomy, Gus. They are resilient. Paul was right. Coming back, down 20 a couple times against the Celtics. But also it could be where Indiana's raining threes. Knicks are fighting for their life, and we have a ball game here in the second half. Either way, I still think it could be an entertaining game, and the whole series could be epic based on pace of play, shot-making ability, run and gun, and so many guys are in potent offenses and star players with Towns, Brunson, Halliburton, and all these guys that can score for Indiana.
Yeah, no, I thought the Knicks and the Pistons series, round 1, I thought that was
great series.
Excellent series.
Damn right it was. I think top 5 round 1 series. But I think a little bit fluky what happened in the fourth quarter, where you don't expect to make a run like that with Brunson on the bench. Brunson had his foul issues, but that's a tight game, back and forth, and then the big run comes, and then the implosion late where the Knicks made all the mistakes, and then Nesmith hits the 6 threes. So I want to see what Thibodeau's going to do for adjustments. I know Carlisle, even with the win, found something. He's going to stick with it with Toppin and limiting Turner's minutes and
that's
going more with
Toppin.
Toppin. And that's huge for props, which we'll get to in a second. And we'll see if they can contain Halliburton. That's it. And we just saw this, though, too. You had to pay a tax on the Cavs, even though the Cavs had injuries. But Cleveland blew a huge lead. And Indiana won the first 2 games in Cleveland, and then they win in 5. And the same thing, we're all must-win Cavs season on the line. They won all 3 games in Cleveland. So these guys aren't going to be scared. They also look like they relish this opportunity. Talk smack to the fans, the choke sign, going back and forth. And sometimes the fans can bring the best out of you in terms of play and emotion as well. But I go back to what Chris Finch said after Game 1 when they surprised and buried the Lakers, that you just cannot match that desperation when the home team needs it in Game 2, knowing that their season's on the line.
Yeah, I like Josh Hart again tonight. I have him, and I bet him at plus 550 to lead the series in rebounds. He had 13 in Game 1. He also had 8 points and 7 assists. So in that first game, by the way, great breakdown, vsin.com today from Dan Karpuk, who put out 3 different player props for the game. And he said that when you go back and look at it and break down the numbers, Hart had 14 assist opportunities in Game 1, and he passed the ball more than 60 times. And Thibodeau loves that guy, and he loves all of his starters, and they play, Hart will play 40-plus minutes in this game. So I like double-double at even money on him, if you can still find that out there. I took a slice on a triple-double at him, at 11-1 for the game tonight, because I think he could also easily score that many points, obviously. And you talked about the guy there, Obi Toppin. A bunch of reasons to like him because, first of all, he was so good in Game 1. I think he's the perfect guy the Pacers need to play in this series to help kind of offset and balance what the Knicks' bigs are going to do, because the Knicks are going to rebound the daylights out of the basketball with Towns, with Hart, with Mitchell Robinson, and the Pacers are not a good rebounding team. And you parlay that with how Towns has dominated Miles Turner. Towns had 35 in Game 1. He was 11 of 17 shooting. In 2 other regular season matchups, he had 40 on 14 of 23 and 30 of 11 of 19. And in 12 regular season matchups with Miles Turner on the floor, Towns has averaged 29.5 points and shot 54% from the floor, 44.5% from deep. He takes 18.3 shots per game in those contests. Not good for Miles Turner. Mm-hmm. And so I think Toppin's going to have to be out there on the court a little bit more. You can still find 5+ rebounds for Toppin tonight at plus 150.
Excellent.
Which I think is a really strong number to bet.
Excellent. The 80 to 90 to 1 most rebounds, the 18 to 1 to have a double-double. The other thing, sharing is caring. And this, when you're going to go run and gun and try to hang with this team, which they want to do and get you in a track meet because of how they play, and they're going to wear you out, and they go up big and then they take you out late. 333 passes per game That's the other thing.
Yeah.
About how you have to work and move defensively. And it's one thing where I have to save my energy for offense and worry about that, but make you guard them and how deep they shoot from, and then the penetration with Halliburton. But that's staggering. So to add it up, which I talked about earlier, the effective field goal percentage is a record right now, what they've done this far in the playoffs, in 333 passes per game. That's nuts. That's also coaching, and that's a great job.
Yeah, that's their style of play,
and
right?
Remember, they did it too. Remember the Halliburton 3 to win the game against Milwaukee in the regular season, where they all ran go routes? How he lined them up? I mean, this guy is an underrated coach. And again, he's a big reason why they won Game 1, because he saved his challenges, the Siakam play against OG, and then the ball that went off Brunson's hand, they were able to get that, and then that led to a basket, too, and they won the game.
By the way, Cat's 3-point prop tonight is still 1.5, over -175 in this game.
Yeah, I think I have to change my mind on that now.
Yeah, it's a bad matchup, I think, for the Pacers here.
I lost the Game 1, and I thought, because of how bad he shot it against Boston, that seems like he's just going to be too much for him. And there's a lot of guys you can make the case. Because, if you're going to be playing in 130 to 120 games here, and that so many guys are going to score, and then the open looks.
I'll tell you
Absolutely.
a guy that I don't want to bet into tonight is Nesmith, based on what happened in Game 1. The guy's a good basketball player. Pauly, he had 6 threes in the final 5 minutes of regulation. That's not going to happen again.
A lot of them wide open, too. Yep.
Yeah, and so,
Right,
when a guy goes off like that, you would think a lot of the talking points are going to be, guys, come on. How do you not recognize that on the court at the time? You cannot let Nesmith go out, so he's going to have more concentration defensively tonight by the Knicks. And his 3-point prop has typically been about 1.5. Now tonight, 2.5 points, 12.5. They have other guys that can go off. Like I bet on Matherman in Game 1.
Yep.
Maybe it's Matherman tonight. Maybe it's McConnell, who has a great game, by the way. And
he does.
How he can get in the paint and finish and get to the rim so often is beyond me.
Yep.
But kudos to him for being able to pull that off. And the other one, how about OG? 2.5 threes tonight. Over is plus 140. It's a nice plus number, but are you confident he's going to make 3?
Well, the juice is worth the squeeze, though, too.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Cat over, OG over. Yeah, I'm fine with all those. Definitely rebounds over for Toppin. We can look at the points over as well, which I like. And this is at DraftKings. Will Hill offers it too. Most assists tonight, Halliburton $1.50. Brunson's, they're not going to stop Brunson. So he's going to shoot, and penetrate and score and get to the line. How many assists will he have? He didn't have many in Game 1. Halliburton's going to have a bunch. I think that's a good price. Halliburton $1.50. Most assists tonight. Introducing the $500 trifecta from GBank, First Bet, and VEASAN. All you need to do is open a GBank Visa Signature Card credit card. It's in the first 90 days, deposit and play through $1,000 at First Bet to trigger the $500 trifecta. You get $200 in cashback rewards on your GBank Visa Signature Card. First Bet will give you a $100 deposit match, and VEASAN completes the trifecta with a free VEASAN Pro subscription through August 31st, a $200 value. The $500 trifecta from GBank, First Bet, and VEASAN. Go to VEASAN.com/GBank. VEASAN.com/GBank. One-time promotion limited to customers opening a new account in response to this offer and will not apply to requests to convert existing accounts.
The Rockies host the Yankees this weekend. What could go wrong there?
Yeah.
Matt Vasgersian will join the program. MLB Network coming up next. We'll get his angles for the betting board and maybe his approach to how you want to attack the Rockies every single day. Coming up here on Follow the Money.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Love talking baseball with our next guest. The great Matt Vasgersian joins the program here from MLB Network, and he is on the progressive guest line. What got your attention, Pauly? Red Sox score again?
No, they won. Aaron Judge total bases is 4 at DraftKings.
4. That's it?
$4.05. Oh my God!
Is he minus $2 to hit a home run yet tonight? Matt, this is unreal. We were talking about this earlier, trying to find ways to bet against the Rockies every night. What are overall your thoughts on that idea and what we're looking at tonight with the Yankees taking on the Rockies at Coors?
Well, I was surprised that the number, the team totals didn't change at all for the Yankees when they went from Dollander, who really is their only chance to win every 5 days, to this kid Tanner Gordon. And if you look at Tanner Gordon's numbers, it should have changed. I mean, the kid in his big league career, he's 27 years old. He's had a handful of big league outings. 40 innings in the big leagues. He's given up 10 homers. This year at Albuquerque, conditions not dissimilar to those at Coors Field, 6.23 ERA and 8 starts. I mean, on paper, the kid's got no chance against the Yankees lineup. And that explains the Aaron Judge 4 on the total base prop. I've never seen anything like that in my life. It's obscene. But if you like the Yankees' first half, 3.5 feels reasonable when you consider the opposing starters' numbers. My God, I mean, they're throwing this kid to the wolves.
Yes, absolutely. What do you think the best way is to attack betting against this team that's on pace to lose 136 games?
Well, you know, it's interesting. The last series they had with the Phillies was kind of the do's and don'ts of how if you're fading a team, because you look at the starting pitching matchups, you think, you know, Marquez, Senzatella, you know, the Phillies left-handers are going to get these guys sooner rather than later. And in 2 of those 4 games, the damage didn't come until the end of the game. Mm-hmm. So I think you could beat yourself getting too cutesy with the Rockies. If you play the opponent to go over the number, maybe not tonight because it's a 7.5 for the Yankees. But if you play the opponent over the number, forget about cutting it up in halves and first 3 and all that stuff, because the rotation is just as bad as the bullpen.
Mm-hmm. These numbers are I'm looking more and more. So 7.5 for the total, like you said, the team total. At most books now 3.5 for the total basis. And again, I just getting ready for the game tonight, Matt. And you were saying this like 2 years ago with us, like you can't bet these home run numbers that are below like 3-1 or in the 2-1 range. I saw Judge, the first number on him tonight was plus 125 to hit a home run.
I mean, that's maddening, right? It's just, it really is maddening. Some of them, you know, even Trent Grisham, you're getting plus 2.25 on Trent Grisham to hit a homer. Yeah. I know he's had a great year and he isn't threat to go deep and he's like a reverse splits guy. So maybe you play him against the lefty to go deep. The only reasonable number tonight to hit a homer, if you want to play the Yankees to homer, is on Anthony Volpe at almost plus 700 and Yorbit Bibas, who is plus 750. Yorbit Bibas, the rookie second baseman that they called up, I mean, this guy is an absolute hacker. My God, he is out there swinging like he's in you know, UA ball somewhere. It's unbelievable how this guy swings the bat. His total base prop is 0.5, and I don't know that I'd play it even in Denver. Okay. Bellinger, by the way, just came off the board to hit a homer, so somebody's pounding that right now as we speak.
Okay, thanks for that. How about this now? Who saw this? Such a great season with the long winning streaks and what's going on to start with the Mets. And how about the Halos? I mean, they haven't won 8 in a row since 2014. Mitch talked about the rollover 32-1 to sweep the Dodgers. They do it again. We always talk about the Malinsky special. So now after the road trip, they're coming back home, but you're going against Sandy, and it's Kikuchi against Sandy, and he's lost his last 6 starts. What do you make of this team and what they're doing?
Yeah, it's been pretty fun to watch. You know, Taylor Ward has this nice streak of 8 straight with an extra base hit. Ohapi's hitting homers. And where do those guys do their damage? Against fastballs. Sinker, four-seamer, doesn't matter. And what does Sandy throw a lot of? He throws a lot of sinkers. His numbers are so bad. He has a career-low chase rate, career-low first-pitch strike rate. Sandy Alcantara's hard hit rate is 50%. Yeah. So 50% of the balls that are in play are hit at 95 miles an hour or harder. If ever it's going to continue for the Angels, it's tonight. And I think Kikuchi's pitched in bad luck. I mean, he's still looking for his first win as an Angel. He's pitched well enough to win a few of them. He's had some mid-inning problems. But against the Marlins, I say it continues tonight for the Angels.
Okay. And I know the last time you were on, we talked about how many times would the Dodgers be underdogs? Well, here it's getting close. Canning's going against Kershaw. Kershaw 12-1 with an ERA of 2. 19 starts career against the Mets, but he got tagged in his first start back. The Mets have won 8 straight starts with Canning. What do you think here, like $1.15 on the Mets at home against Kershaw?
Yeah, I think the price is about right, and this game just screams stay away from. I mean, both teams are 5-5 in their last 10. The Mets don't hit, but they pitch like crazy. The Dodgers don't pitch, but they hit like crazy. They're the flip-flop mirror image of each other. The Mets have hit better at home this year, which I think is really weird because that place plays very pitcher-friendly. The park-adjusted numbers there have been very pitch-friendly for the last number of years, but they've hit like crazy at home. Kershaw beat up in the first inning of his inaugural start 5 days ago. He's certainly not good for anything past 5 innings.
Yeah.
The whole thing is a stay away from. Plus, it's weird weather in the Northeast now. There's thunderstorms everywhere. That's a run away and hide from.
I'll give you a bet that I made tonight. I have a handful in Major League Baseball, and it's Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Matt Vasgersian, MLB Network. Great pitching matchup in Pittsburgh. Skeens takes on Peralta, who's having a really, really strong season for the Brewers. I really don't like either offense, specifically the Pittsburgh Pirates here. I played the first 3 innings under 1.5 runs at like plus 106 earlier today, Matt.
I bet that's changed. That's a nice number. I mean, I looked at some of the strikeout numbers on Skeens because I'm always curious where they're going to write it. And the thing that popped at me wasn't Skeens, but Peralta, because he's at 5.5, 5.5. He is almost 60% fastball. So when you look at individual Pittsburgh hitters and what they do against the heater, the guys that really struggle are Tommy Pham, Key Brian Hayes, and Jared Triolo. And Triolo's not in there. Key Brian's in there. McCutcheon's had trouble against the fastball, weirdly, this year. And Pham's not in there. So 2 of the guys that you'd earmark for 1 or 2 punch-outs against the starter aren't playing. I still think fastball Freddie could strike out 6 or more in this game because the Pirates are that bad.
Okay. Any other props you're looking at, or some futures and anything you like tonight?
You know what was interesting tonight? A couple pitching things. I think Matthew Boyd's interesting because Cincinnati is so bad against left-handed starters, and Boyd's number's pretty reasonable. Mackenzie Gore's got the highest K rate in the game, and San Francisco, who is in town tonight, they've got a 25% strikeout rate versus left-handed pitching. That's not horrific, but when you compare it with what Gore has done this year, his home starts, and he's at home, he's punched out 13, and that was that weird season opener against the Phillies where the shadows were crazy. And then he's gone 7, 8, and 7. So the number is perfectly written at 6.5 for Mackenzie Gore. I'm starting to think this, too.
Yeah.
I'd be curious, when you guys had the bookmakers on and you talk about how these lines are written, I think that strikeout totals are written just as much for opposing lineups as they are for the guy on the mound. The great example of that tonight is Pablo Lopez against Kansas City. Kansas City's got the second lowest K rate among teams in baseball. And Pablo Lopez's number feels so reasonable at 5.5. He's gone over that in 6 straight starts. But the reason it's lower is because the Royals don't strike out. Mm-hmm. And that makes it a real hard play for bettors. It makes it hard for you to pick a side on.
Yeah, I'm finding to get down on K props more and more difficult the more I study this and the more like projections that I look at and the matchups. You're spot on. Like nothing. I shouldn't say nothing, but Matt, it is like rare. And I look at it every single day when a K prop like completely jumps off the page to me.
Yeah, it's really true. I don't know what Chris Sale's number is tonight against San Diego, but their lineup is scuffling right now.
6.5.
And as 6.5. And as good as Nick Pivetta was in his first 3 starts, he has not been good in his last 4. Just as a side, I think Atlanta can beat up on San Diego. They're really sputtering right now.
All right, buddy. Love talking to you. Have a great holiday weekend. We appreciate it. Enjoy the baseball.
You got it, guys. I'll be listening as always.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. There you go. Matt Vasgersian. MLB Network with us here on the Progressive Guest Line. Has Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I looked at that too with Gore because of everything that he just talked about. But then you see 6.5 minus 150.
Yeah.
Like, I'd play it maybe at minus 110, but minus 150 is like juice to the. Can't do it.
Kershaw's 3.5. How long will he go? He's right. Plus, he was so bad his first time out.
The only thing that is getting me away from playing the Mets team total first 5 over is the weather there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Up next, Nigel Seeley joins the program. He is going hog wild with some totals this weekend in soccer.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
I'll give you a reason why here. To me, betting K props has turned out to be a little bit trickier this year than normal. There was a matchup a couple of days ago when Rodon went for the Yankees. All the numbers and all the projections I looked at, like, were screaming to bet him to go over and ladder his props. I didn't do it because, like, the over regular number 6.5 was higher than $1.50. He had 3 strikeouts through, I think, the first 3 or 4 innings. I'm like, thank God I didn't bet it. He came back and he struck out 5 in the next couple of innings to go over, and he hit the ladder over 7.5 as well. But I don't want to lay that much juice. Here's one that we're talking about tonight with the Pirates taking on the Brewers. Paul Skeens. Now, his K numbers are down, like, significantly from last year. So that's a little bit dicey as well, but it's 6.5. Over is about plus 116 right now that you can find on him. Now we're talking like, okay, maybe he doesn't get there, but I can live with myself taking that number and the odds on that happening, overlaying $1.50, or it's at Mackenzie Gore's not like $1.60 to go over his K prop tonight. I think if you're going to bet Mackenzie Gore, then you got to ladder him, right? You got to ladder to take some of those plus prices as well.
Yeah, the K rate bad with San Francisco, but I understand where you're coming from with the juice. The other thing is, does that scream under? Between the weather, this all-time bad Pittsburgh offense, and Freddie's been awesome.
Well, what do you think about my idea there? And he said the number, it actually went against me. I grabbed plus 106. So this is Skeens, Peralta, Pirates, Brewers. You're right with the weather, bad offenses. I bet under 1.5 runs in the first 3, plus 106. You can now find plus 108 on that. Just get through the lineup once.
Yeah.
No shenanigans in the 4th or the 5th.
Shenanigans, yeah.
Right? You're not going to rely on the defense for that much longer or more innings like that. You just set them up, set them down, move on, and within 45 minutes, the bet might be cashed.
Yeah. Tomorrow, Fried is $3.50 against Freeland. Now it's happening.
Well,
now it's getting fun.
And here's the thing. I don't know if it's high enough. Freeland actually, again, poor guy. But his underlying numbers have been way better than like the regular standard back of the baseball card numbers. That said, the Yankees obliterate left-handed pitching. So if they crush the Rockies tonight and their team total is 7.5 and they have multiple guys go yard, and it's probably not going to go well for Tanner Gordon pitching for the Rockies tonight. What's their team total tomorrow? Do you make it 7.5 minus 140? Do you make it 8.5?
Yeah. What if Judge hits 2 bombs tonight? It's another one.
Plus
total
7
bases, 4.
Oh, come on.
Matt said he's never seen 3.5.
I don't think I have either.
4 plus 105.
Oh my God! Jeez.
Man,
you know what? Okay,
could be.
How about a same game parlay then? To bump it up and have a little bit of fun here, and just a little FOMO, by the way. If the Yankees score 14 runs, you want to be a part of that tonight.
Yeah.
Multiple guys that hit home runs.
All right, Sunday's the final day of the Premier League. Nigel getting aggressive with his plays. You know, he likes to play high-scoring matches and loves the 3-3 draw when he's hit that a couple times over the years in the Premier League. And check him out Sunday. We'll be on live with the Meat Man going over in play and what transpires during the final day of the Prim. And here's Nigel with his picks and props from earlier today.
Hello everyone, it's Nigel Seeley here. It's the final day of the English Premier League, so my final video of the season. Some of you will be ecstatic to hear that. You'll be having parties all across America knowing that you won't be getting any tips from me for until probably August. It's the final day which throws up some freaky results. As you all know, I love the 3-3 on the final day of the season. I've done that over the years. And unfortunately for me, if you went back through the last 10 years of the Premier League, there hasn't been one 3-3 draw. There's some interesting stats. The most popular scoreline over 100 matches in the Premier League on the final day is 3-1 to the home team, which works out as a 10% chance. So if your sports books are offering 3-1, about a heavy favourite, could be worth taking a little bit of that if you can get bigger than 9-1, 10% chance for that. Only 2 0-0 draws in the last 100 matches, so 50-1 and 0-0 on the statistics over the last 10 years in the final day of the season. And goals do go up. In the last 3 seasons, the average goals per game has been 3.8 goals per match, which when you look at it, you might be thinking you want to bet the over 2.5. You might be thinking you want to bet the over 3.5. But the lines move too quickly. The lines move massively, and there is no value on the over 2.5 and the over 3.5 on the final day of the Premier League season. Easy for me to say. Where the value is on the big numbers. You've got to go big or go home on the Premier League final day. Over 4.5 is value. Over 5.5 is value. And they are the markets that you want to attack rather than taking the 2.5 and the 3.5 at low prices. So there's 3 matches where I've got involved in on the over 4.5 goal market. Very unusual for me to play this high number, but on the final day of the season is definitely the way to go. So I'm going over 4.5 goals in Tottenham v Brighton. The two played out a 3-2 match in the reverse fixture, and Brighton need to win. Tottenham coming back from the Europa League success. I think that's going to be a goal fest. So over 4.5 at 2-1. Wolves v Brentford. I like goals there. Wolves were involved in a 4-2 match against Crystal Palace last time out. And Brentford lost 3-2 against Fulham. Should have been 3-3. Brentford missed a penalty. Over 4.5 goals there is 3-1. And also Crystal Palace against Liverpool. Liverpool, Crystal Palace, Anfield. I fancy over 4.5 goals there at 2-1. So 3 matches where you want to bet over 4.5 goals. You get much more value on the over 4.5 than you do on the over 2.5 and over 3.5. And my main bet on the weekend is Newcastle -1.5 against Everton -105. Everton played their final match at their home, Goodison Park. That's been over 100 years of being their home. It was a real emotional affair. Their season is done after that game. Newcastle need to win and need to win well. And they always score goals at home. They scored 2 goals in, I think, 6 of their last 7 matches at home. And I think they'll beat Everton. They need to win to get into the Champions League. So Newcastle -1.5 at -105 is my best bet. And I've got some props for you. Liverpool against Crystal Palace. Liverpool have won the Premier League title. Crystal Palace won the FA Cup. It'll be a party celebration atmosphere. Both clubs will be enjoying it. Both clubs will be parading the trophy. There won't be a tackle in the match. I can see this being really, really, really easy going, like a testimonial, like a pre-season affair. 8-1, no booking, no card in that match. 8-1, Liverpool against Crystal Palace. I know some of you stateside find it difficult to get that market, but if you can bet no card, Liverpool v Crystal Palace, I think that's a great bet. And where I expect cards, and lots of them, is the biggest game of the weekend is Nottingham Forest against Chelsea. It is a showdown, really, to find out who gets the Champions League spots. Both of them must win. There's no love lost between the two. In the reverse fixture, which was a draw at Stamford Bridge, there was 9 yellow cards and 1 red in a real feisty affair. This is Nottingham Forest's biggest match for over 40 years. They have to win this to have a chance to get the Champions League. Chelsea need to win it as well. Both managers, Chelsea managers under pressure. The Forest managers linked with a move to Roma, and I think both of them will be really, really up for this. And I think this, unlike the Liverpool game, is going to be a feisty affair. You can bet over 5.5 cards, but I'm going to go for a sending off in the match at +360. So 1 player or 2 players to see red. I think a player may be getting his marching orders. The referee is Anthony Taylor, who earlier on the season refereed a Chelsea match against Bournemouth where he gave a record-breaking 14 cards, and in his last 12 matches that he has refereed, he has given 8 red cards. So what is the biggest match of the season for both two teams? No love lost. I fancy a red card. Someone to get an early bath at +360. That's it for the season. I hope you enjoyed the videos. Good luck with everything, and hopefully catch you all, Mitch and Pauly, next season. And Pauly, please remember, get your people to speak to my people. I want to come over to Vegas and take you on in that PK challenge. Bring it on.
Well done. Excellent.
Very good.
And this Stevens guy claims to be a businessman. I mean, come on, let's go. Let's get this done at Stadium Swimmer out on Fremont Street. We have got to make this happen. I don't know. We got a soccer team here. It's not that hard. Get anyone off the street, and Nigel will throw him in and as well to go with the PK Challenge. Get on the action. First Bet has you covered. Sign up now to access exclusive promotions and bet on hundreds of thrilling horse races every day, right from your phone or computer. Visit First Bet. Use promo code VSIN200. Get a 20% rebate on all your wagers for the first 60 days up to $200. Don't miss out. Start betting today. FirstBet.com. He is shooting for the stars there. That's great.
Yeah.
And that was dynamite information on the last guy with the referee and the red card plus 360.
Yeah,
that is strong.
That's super strong. But also, to your point, with going crazy this weekend with the totals, the history here is just dynamite for the final weekend.
Yeah.
And how it's a little bit looser, right? Willy-nilly, up and down.
He tweets that out once in a while. He did that years ago when he had hair. He gave out like a 4-4 on the final day that was like 60-1 or 80-1 or something.
Nigel's had hair with us before?
No, this was on TV
okay, yeah.
across the pond.
What would you need for the Rockies to shut out the Yankees tonight?
Is that available?
I'm looking at the number right now.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not.
20-1.
I'll give you the number coming up next.
Oh, wow.
All right? To see if you'd want to make a bet on that.
That's not good enough.
And I did
this kid's terrible. Gordon.
I did a same game parlay, by the way,
yeah.
on Yankees players at a home run tonight. Okay. Find out who I'm doing next here on Follow the Money is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.